Hi guys, my name is Dee and I am here for you from Bodyholic. And what we are going to do today is a short 15-minute Pilates workout that will hit up your abs. So without further ado, let's go. Let's head on down onto our back. And what I'd like us to do is just take a moment and open up our palms towards the ceiling. Relax your head, relax your shoulders, root your feet into the floor, and then on the next exhale, I'm going to ask you to lift your tailbone up, squeeze your booty, and then slowly come down. And then again, up, squeeze the booty, and then slowly come down. This is just to kind of get your lower back moving. And ready to go. And we're going to do the same thing with the upper back. So on this last one, making sure that your knees are parallel to each other, we're going to sit on down and place our hands at the base of the skull with the elbows open. And exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. We're going to go for another 5, making sure that you really aren't pushing your hands into the base of the skull, right? So you're really letting your distance between the chin and chest be about a fist or a lemon. So we're going to hold up here, and then from here I want you to stay exactly steady the way you are. So the shoulder blades are off the floor completely, and there's that fist distance between chin and chest. And then I'm just going to reach my hands forward, nothing else changes. And then inhale, hands back. Especially on the way back with the hands, I want you to really focus on staying as steady as possible with the shoulder blades. Core is totally on, just the arms are moving through. I want you to really think about your pelvic floor here as well. Lift that pelvic floor. So it's like you're stopping yourself from going to the bathroom, just zip it up, and that's your pelvic floor. One more time, and then I'm going to ask you to bring your hands forward. Let's slightly bring our feet forward, and then inhale here, and exhale, roll up nice and slow, rounded, and then slowly down, rounded. But we're not going to touch our shoulder blades to the floor just yet. So we're going to go up, and the reason is I want us to stay in the work constantly without that moment's break. Because I do want us to get into full range of motion, we are going to start bringing our shoulder blades all the way down to the floor in 2 reps. And then this is that last rep, and I feel like we're pretty much ready to go. So we're going to go all the way down. Hands are going to touch the floor above the head, but here's the thing. Press your back into the floor when you do that. So you can easily stretch here, but I want you to continuously activate your abs. And on the next exhale, try to come up without bringing your hands to your toes. So you're always reaching for the ceiling. And then as you go down, it's still ceiling, 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 and then up. On the exhale, really use that exhale to lift you up with as little momentum as possible. So you're using the breath to control the movement. Exhale up. Two more, constantly thinking about bringing the arms towards your ears, fingertips to the ceiling. And on this last one, we're going to stay seated. Let's stay seated, placing our hands at the base of the skull. I'm going to straighten out my towel over there. Hands at the base of the skull, just like before. Now, if you're having trouble sitting tall, then you can just boost yourself up with maybe a pillow or a towel that you might want to fold up. And then otherwise, I want you to make sure that your toes are looking up at the ceiling, the knees are parallel to each other, and from here, you're gently, ever so slightly, pressing your head back in towards your hands, shoulders down. On the next exhale, turn your head into your right hand so you get to open up your right chest a little bit. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right again. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. and then return to center. And if you were boosted up, then get rid of whatever it is that you're sitting on. And then I want you to slowly work your way down, one vertebrae at a time. And once again, we're gonna go all the way up to seated, but I want you to try and do this with your hands behind your head. So it's exhale up, and then slow on the way down. We're gonna go for another 3, and that's it. Notice that my knees aren't super bent, but they're also not straight, okay? So I'm just in this position where I can really use as little momentum as possible and as much control as possible. And then from here, I'm gonna turn to the right, and I'm gonna lift my right leg up, and I'm gonna lift my left leg, but straighten it. And then I'm slowly gonna go down. Let's bring that knee towards the elbow, or rather towards the shoulder, and that's important. I want you to think about the shoulder coming up towards the knee, and then switch. I'm flexing my feet, and I'm pushing them forward as though I want to bring the heel away from me as much as possible. Even more so, I want to imagine that I'm pressing a box full of weights away from me with my heel. We're going to go for another 2. Notice that my shoulder blades are off the floor. And then from here, let's stay facing the left. So we went down on the right. Stay facing the left. Give yourself a little momentum. And then come up into that hovering position. I fell right there, and it's possible that you fell. So that's what I want you to do. If you are falling through, then I want you to take a moment and then just find your balance once again. It might take a few tries, and then slow on the way down. Without bringing your shoulder blades to the floor, switch. Little momentum. Notice how slow the butt lift is. So switch, slow, right? It's not about throwing your legs back. Switch. Let's do that for 2 more. One more. And then from here, let's straighten the legs, flex them strongly. Bring your hands up above your head. Try to really get into this kind of L position. So even if it means bringing your booty back a little bit so you feel your sits bones rooted into the floor, that's a good thing. So inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, come up and over, and try to come as far forward as you can without this little crunch. I want you elongating, which means that if you're here with your hands, that's perfect. Okay, so we're elongating, pulling the tailbone back, bringing the heels forward, pulling your shoulders back and away from your ears, lifting your sternum up. And then from here, we're gonna slowly release and go into a side plank on the right forearm. So your side plank can absolutely be super modified on your bent bottom leg, like so. But you can also straighten your leg. You can have your legs like so, with the top leg in front of the other. And if you want to go a little bit more advanced, then please just stack one leg above the other, reach it up, and I want you to just hold this and think about the following. Hip joint above hip joint. And that's really important. So your pelvis is looking at the wall right in front of you. And just hold this for a moment. Constantly pressing your right forearm into the floor. Let's begin our deep rotations for 8. And then return to that parallel pelvis. 7, I want you to exhale on the rotation. 6, lift yourself up. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time, and I'm going to ask you again to just hold up steady, and without putting your knees down, let's switch over to the other side. Again, take that moment. Make sure hip joint is stacked above the other hip joint. Inhale, reach your hand up, and then let's exhale for the rotation. 8. Make sure you're not dropping your pelvis on the rotation. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and here's the last one. And then from here, slowly go into a plank. And then just keep your booty kind of low. It's as though you want to meet your rib cage with your tailbone, and your tailbone with your rib cage. So there's this connection right there around the navel. Lift that pelvic floor. Press your forearms into the floor. Make sure you're pulling your shoulders back and away from your ears. And let's shift side to side for 8, 7. So I'm not rotating, I'm just shifting my weight ever so slightly from forearm to forearm. 2, 1, and then gently release. Sitting on your heels, bringing your hands behind you, clasp them, and lift your chest. And then let's slowly release and return to your back. Onto your back. You're doing great. Onto your back. And we're going to go into a tabletop position, flex feet. And I want you to be so accurate here. Imagine that there's kind of like a tray. You know what? Imagine a tray of chocolate chip cookies. Let's do it that way. Right on your shins. So I don't want you moving them around so that we don't lose any chocolate chip cookies. And place your hands at the base of your skull. Legs are super steady. Inhale down, open up those elbows. Lift the pelvic floor, exhale, lift the shoulder blades. So we're going in for chest lifts, but we're going to change them in just a moment. We're going to go for another 6, 5, flexing those feet. Don't move those legs. Definitely move those shoulder blades. Lift them off the floor. 2 more. Last one, and then hold it right here without moving from your rib cage down. Then I want that way I want you to just move your sternum to face the right and face the left. Okay, so it's like the middle of the back only is going like this. Everything else is anchored for another 8, 7. Lift the shoulder blades up. Make sure that as you go through the center, you are completely elevated with the shoulder blades. 4, 3, 2, last one, and then we're gonna hold it centered. If you need to bring your hands forward, that's absolutely fine. You might need to kind of just relax your neck a little bit, or you can cross your arms over. I want you to just stay steady. And now lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. So instead of going towards the navel, you're lifting up towards the ceiling and then all the way down. Exhale, sternum to ceiling. This is the last push, guys. So let's go for another 8, 7, 6, 5 for the ceiling. 4. I want you to think about the mobility in the upper back. Really lift and move through there. 2. Last time, and then from here, relax your head down, put your right foot down, and then drop your legs over to the right and have your right hand pull your left knee towards the floor. Let's look over to the left. And gently switch over to the other side. Ooh, I don't know if you heard that crack, but I certainly did. Felt it, certainly felt it. And then let's gently go into a little bit of a bridge. So we're gonna root our feet into the floor. And I very often tell you guys to not go into your back on the bridging, but here I do actually want you to just open up and go high. And then slowly come down 1 vertebrae at a time. And through your side, please meet me in a seated position, nice and tall. So any way that is most comfortable for you, but I want you to be tall. Oh, well done. Let's take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, shake it out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach it. And exhale, shake it off. Good job. I will see you tomorrow. Well done.